What's going on, guys? Mikkel here, and today I want to do an XRP technical analysis update. The price has really been surging today, and I want to show you guys what I'm looking at, when I expect it to break out of this range, and why it's important to watch what's going on in the court case to see when a potential break could be. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think. Guys, you've been blowing up the channel recently, and it's really helped out so much, so keep subscribing, and let's jump right into this video. So guys, I'm going to try to keep this video short and sweet, and we're going to jump into why I believe the XRP price chart is about to break out, and for what you guys need to be paying attention to so you guys can be watching it closely too and know when it's going to happen. Now today had some pretty exciting price movement. We actually went from about $1.06 to a high of $1.20, but I kind of knew in my head that we probably weren't going to go too far because of the similarities we've seen in the last pattern to this one. I kind of knew that we still had a couple more weeks to go before we could really be paying attention for what could be an insane breakout to the upside. So for those of you guys who have seen my last videos, I've essentially been comparing this pattern back here to this current pattern playing out. They're triangular consolidation patterns where in the last one it broke to the upside, and I would expect this one to break to the upside as well. I encourage you guys to pause the video right now and really just compare the two triangular patterns I've drawn out here, and I even numbered them to try to make it easy for you guys to see. So hopefully you guys can see the obvious similarities between these two cycles, and I want to get into why I believe this one is about a week or two away from a breakout just like we saw last time. I would expect this breakout to be even higher than the one we saw last time because this whole entire pattern has been more volatile than this last one. I also want to point out what these red zones are at the end. Essentially this pattern, there's no specific law or trend line that is going to be all-encompassing. It always gets a little sloppy in places because these are just general ranges and general patterns, and the lines just help show it. There's no precise science to a perfect way to draw this, and therefore you're always going to have some variation. Let me point out that on this one we broke out to the bottom a couple times and we had wicks below, and we kind of have the same thing here, and we have some to the upside up here. And if we look at these red zones, the price doesn't always complete the entire pattern. Sometimes it breaks out beforehand, and very oftentimes that's the case. Therefore, based on the fact that almost the entire pattern here has been playing out here, I would likely assume that we probably wouldn't finish this pattern either. We very likely could, but it's kind of my assumption that we won't. Just based on the fact that everything here has been so similar, I really expect it to kind of repeat going on over here. So I kind of canceling out this zone right here. It could come into play, but for now I am under the belief that we'll probably break out before this. And really that has to do with the SEC Ripple case. If you guys haven't seen my last video, make sure you check it out after this. But essentially, October 22nd is the date the SEC is supposed to hand over files that would essentially be fair notice gold for Ripple. If the SEC is forced to turn over these files, then it could potentially jeopardize every single case they bring in the future, because it's essentially going to allow Ripple to escape on fair notice, and every other crypto company is then going to be allowed to use that excuse. I doubt they let this happen, and I'm sure they try to settle beforehand. That settlement would likely come a couple weeks prior to this black line here, October 22nd, or a couple weeks after. It really depends whether or not they're already kind of giving up right now. We're seeing the writing on the wall and saying we're not going to push this further, or they're going to try to wait a couple weeks, see if they can not hand over the documents to the judge, and see, I guess, how long they can stall. Either way, I think as soon as the judge gets those documents, I think it's likely the case is over, and I don't think the SEC is going to want the judge to rule that Ripple has fair notice. I think they're going to want to settle beforehand, and I think Ripple just probably wants this case to be over and will go along with the settlement as long as the settlement does in fact give them clarity for the status of XRP. I know a couple people in my comments recently have said they're not going to settle, XRP needs clarity. They can draft anything they want in a settlement. They can give XRP clarity. They can state in writing that XRP is not a security. Settlements are very flexible, so I think we should keep our mind open that if a settlement does occur, it will involve XRP clarity. The SEC, as they've shown, they're going to do whatever they want, so I wouldn't leave anything off the table. But what is on the table right now that the SEC cannot escape is the fact that the courts are closing in on them, and the SEC would rather lose this one case than potentially lose every single case in the future. So therefore, this October 22nd date is very significant. Now, what I'm expecting is maybe a breakout anywhere in this green range, and that's why I kind of put it right here. I kind of expect that we kind of grind a little bit right here, but the next time we touch the top of this trend line, I think it's game over. I think we're popping up. It might touch once or twice, but I think typically when I watch this pattern, it's been 5 touches, and we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here we see 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think it's going to be 5. These patterns are playing out almost to a T. There's massive price potential for XRP based on every single other crypto being at their all-time high, XRP being suppressed. Typically, if XRP was already at its all-time high, I would be kind of more questionable about where it was going to go. But based on the fact that almost every other high-cap crypto has already passed their all-time high, and XRP is only halfway there, and the fact that the settlement is looking very good for Ripple, and XRP will likely get the clarity we've all waiting for, and the fact that XRP is getting all kinds of crazy upgrades to the network, Ripple's been popping off, landing new partnerships even with this case. I just don't see how this could not be a break to the upside. I think it's imminent, and I'm really just waiting for the price to grind over just a little bit more. I want to show you guys the longer we go sideways, the easier it is for us to touch up to this top resistance line. Right now, to touch that line, we'd need $1.30, but if we were going to grind over to October 21st, then we'd only need $1.25, which we almost hit today. And that's kind of the cool thing about this. I think we kind of trade sideways until we get closer to this date right here. We hit this, and I would assume that we would have a breakout before the settlement was announced. In my opinion, what I would expect to happen is we break out, and then in a day or two, we hear that the settlement's announced. I expect the breakout to be violent, and I think it's going to make us a lot of money. Anyway, guys, I hope this video really helped break down what I'm watching, what you guys need to watch for, and yeah, just plan accordingly. If you need to finish off any bag packing, if you want to wait a couple more days, just keep this in mind. Draw this out for yourself. Have some fun with it. Also, follow me on Twitter, and if you do find anything else in this pattern, send it out to me. Shoot it to me. I want to see it. I'm always looking for variations of this. I've probably drawn this a million times. This is my favorite one. I think this one looks the cleanest, makes the most sense. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and for now, Mikkel out.